All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and go over this AUD, SON, PHON list today. Basically, what you need to understand is that they all are talking about something about sound or hearing. Okay, so this has all to do with your little ears. Oh my God, that's like the worst ear I think I've ever seen in my life. There's a little earring with a little hole in there. Maybe that's an okay ear. Anywho, let's keep going. All right, so this first word sounds kind of funny. It's assonance. So get your chuckles out while you're listening to this video, guys, because we're not going to chuckle about that probably in class as much as we'd probably like to. So yeah, guys, this is the repetition of similar vowel sounds, okay? So I know, like, we've talked about alliteration in the past, and alliteration typically has different consonants at the beginnings of words. This, on the other hand, is vowels, not consonants. So we're talking A, E, I, O, or U, okay? And it's in the stressed syllable, so not necessarily at the beginning of the word. But a good example of this would be, I'm going to put an example. It's going to take me a minute to write it. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. So you could see you've got that AI sound that keeps going on and on throughout that sentence. That is an example of assonance, okay? So it's kind of like you would use it as the same way as you would the word alliteration, except that you're referring to these vowel sounds on the stressed syllables. That one's a hard one. You just have to know what the meaning of that one is. You have to just learn that one. It's not going to be, there's not an easy way to remember that, you know? Okay, the next one is audible. Audible is something that this describes a noun, so it describes if something is able to be heard, okay? So if I say that I watched the video and the sound was not audible, it means that I couldn't hear it, okay? So you can hear if it's audible. The next one is audio. Audio is the sound portion of a broadcast. So if you're watching TV, anything that you hear from a recording is audio, the audio portion of that recording, okay? Next one is auditorium. An auditorium is kind of like the McCoy. It's going to be a large room that accommodates an audience, often for meetings or performances. So a large room for an audience. I'm going to put the McCoy down there as an example. Next is cacophony or cacophony. I don't know which one. I've heard it said both ways. So cacophony or cacophony, okay? I think most of the time it's cacophony. So at any rate, this is something, I know I just referenced this the other day in class, and I was like, don't you remember that was one of our vocab words? And you guys were like, no, we don't remember. Well, that's because we hadn't gotten to that list yet, and I was somehow having a flashback of another year that I taught. So this is harsh sounds. So if there's like pretty much the best thing I have to describe this is the lunchroom. The lunchroom is the best example of cacophony I've ever heard in my life. It's just constant sound and noises, and it literally just makes you, as I would normally say, want to poke your eyes out, because it's like, whoa, that's a lot of sound. Next is a phonograph. A phonograph is basically like a record player, okay? A lot of times when you see them, they have, the disc on top, and then they end up having like that big speaker thing off the top of it. They used to have a little crank on the side that you made go around and around to make the record play, and there's a little needle. So it's basically just a record player. I don't know why I crossed that off. But it's that machine that you would be able to produce sound out of, because it would play that record on there. The next one is resonate. Resonate, if you put your hand on your chest and then you talk and you feel how there is a vibration coming out of your chest, or if you put your hand against your throat, that is going to be resonate, okay? It's that vibration of sound And a lot of times, if a sound is resonating and there are multiple sounds resonating at the same time, you will be able to get a harmony out of it. So it'll be, it's that vibration and that constant sound to repeat that allows you to achieve harmony. But we're talking about just if your voice resonates, then that means your voice is vibrating and repeating in the sound deep within you. All right, next is sonar. Sonar is echolocation. So we're talking like dolphins and such, you know, like the, on the second Finding Nemo, that one really sweet little, I think it was a beluga whale. She had echolocation. It's sonar. It basically means I'm going to shoot out sound waves, and then when they bounce back to me, I'm going to be able to tell how long that took, and it's going to give me some information about how far something is away. So it has to do with locating things underneath water. Okay, guys? Then you've got a sonnet. A sonnet is another one of those things that this is just the word that you're going to have to memorize. It is a poem. It has 14 lines, and it usually follows a rhyme scheme. Okay, so a sonnet is a very specific type of poem. So it's a type of poem. And somebody who wrote a lot of these was Shakespeare. So you might be able to make a connection there. And then the last word, guys, is unison. Unison means that there is more than one person and that they are producing sound at the same time. So it's like you're singing together. You guys do this in choir a lot if you're in choir. All right, guys, so there's your words for this week. Odds on phone, you will have this test next Wednesday. And if you got any questions, hit me up, all right? Mwah.